All right, welcome back to lesson number 5, and this is part 2 of buying, renting, and leasing. I wanted to finish doing this class example because there are some slight differences in how you use the TVM solver. So let's just jump into it. Jessie has decided that she will lease with no down payment a truck for her landscape company. The truck is priced at $34,800 and the lease is calculated at 6.9% per annum, compounded monthly for 4 years. The lease includes a plan with an option for a final buyout of $12,789. So we want to calculate the monthly payment for the lease before and after taxes. Okay, let's do this. I gotta grab my calculator. Okay. So for my TVM solver, let's just fill in what we know. So we know it's for 4 years, monthly payments, 4 by 12. This is going to be 6.9%. The PV, or the principal value, because there's no down payment, is $34,800. The payment is what we want to find. It wants to have a final value because a buyout at $12,789. So $12,789. So my final value is going to be negative $12,789. And we're going to have a payment of 12 years compounded monthly, 12 payments compounded monthly at 12. So if we plug this all in, we're going to get something like this, 48. And let me just double check if that's correct, 596. So 596, this is our amount, our monthly payment before taxes. Now, after taxes, all we need to do is multiply that amount by 1.12 and so 596.17 times 1.12, and after taxes this is equal to $667.71. Now B, Jessie has decided that the monthly payments are too high and would like to pay only $375 per month, not including GST and PST. So calculate the new final buyout or the residual value of the lease. All right, so we got N is 4 by 12. This is still 6.9%. The principal value, $34,800. But she wants to make monthly payments of $375 instead. Oh, and one thing, this should be at begin. Sorry, this should also be at begin. And this is all the same as well. And what we want to do is we want to calculate what FV is equal to. So going back to FV, the only thing we change here is negative 375. And now the new final buyout price is going to be $25,000.44. So negative 25044.77. So the final buyout then, if spelled buy wrong, buyout, if she wanted to buy it, is going to be $25,044.77. Now we want to calculate the total cost of the vehicle for both A and B in the event Jessie decides to buy the truck at the end of the lease. All right, so let's see. Option A here, if she were to buy, that's going to be 48 payments of $667.71 plus the final buyout price, $12,789. So 48 times 667.71 plus 12,789. So that would have a total cost of $44,839.08. B, let's see. Now, this was the cost before tax, remember? So what we need to do is we need to go 1.12 times 375. And we're going to take this value and multiply it by 48, and then we are going to add it to the final buyout of $25,044.77. So we have 1.12 times 375 times 48 plus $25,044.77 for a total cost of $45,204.77. We're not really looking for the difference here, but we are, we're not looking for the difference here, but we are seeing that this is a much higher price that she is paying. Now we're going to look at class example number 6. I'm just going to assume that you're going to go ahead and read page 504. 504 compares the differences between renting and buying. And we're going to talk about those differences in this example. However, I think it's still a good idea to read just the information on the previous page. So Don and Dawn have saved $25,000 and are considering whether to rent a duplex or buy a home with a mortgage. And they have two options to consider. So option 1, they can purchase with a mortgage. The house price is $380,000. Mortgage is 4.95% per year, compounded semi-annually, and that's amortized over 20 years. And then these are the costs that they have, the total monthly costs that they're going to have. Option 2 is to rent, and if they're renting the home for a flat rate of $1,425 per month, and then for some of the utilities as well. So what we want to do is calculate the monthly average, calculate the average monthly cost for each option. So option number 1, first of all, we're going to assume that this $25,000 they have is a down payment. All right, so we're going to assume that's a down payment. So option 1, and if I use the TVM solver, we have 20 years, that's the amortization, and it's at 4.95%, and the house price is $380,000 minus their down payment, and we're going to look for the payment in a moment here. FV, we're going to say 0. We'll call that 0. We'll call that 0, and 12 and compounded semi-annually. And this should be end, by the way. And so our monthly payment here is going to be $2,323. And I just want to double check everything here. Okay, that looks good. All right. So is $2,323.22. Now, that's the monthly payment for the insurance. It's $2,323.22, but that's not the monthly costs, right? The monthly costs also includes all of these. So we need to go ahead and add those up. So, taxes, $353 a month, plus 165, plus 95, plus 65, plus 92, plus 115. So the total monthly cost is going to be the monthly payment plus the monthly cost of bills and stuff, which is $885. So in total, this is going to come out to $3,208.22. All right, so that's the average monthly cost. Now, option two. So option two, they're renting the home, plus paying for hydro and gas, water, and insurance. This has a monthly cost of $1,795. Now, if we look at based on the monthly average costs, list an advantage and a disadvantage of both options. Okay, well, option one obviously has higher monthly costs. But you do, so this is a disadvantage, right? Obviously that's a disadvantage. And there's some other things, right? Like you also have the headache of home ownership, and we can talk about that in class. But an advantage is if they sell their house, they will most likely make money. So it's an investment. So that's the advantage there. So option two costs less. This is an advantage. But the disadvantage is they don't own, and so that's the disadvantage. So if they do move, there's no money that they're going to make on moving. They just move, and all the rent that they pay just goes to the operating costs of the home and their lives essentially. So yeah, there are the differences or one of the many differences between owning with a mortgage and renting.